Hello BIO178, welcome to the first tutorial video for this week's lab. So if you haven't already, make sure you are in the project that we set up at the beginning of the semester for our class. So you can go File to Recent Projects, BIO178 Fall 20. That'll refresh for you. And then make sure also that you've put the code handout from this week into this folder. So then from there, you can click on that and it'll load in the R script panel in the top left corner here. So all that information is there for us, but just like always, I recommend starting your own script so you can type everything out. So we'll do new R script. And we'll call this week 10 lab. I'm going to call it run through because I already have several code saved on my computer as I've been putting together the lab. So we'll call it the week 10 run through. So the first thing we need to do here is load. So in this video, I'll cover installing, loading the new package we need, and then also loading the data that we're going to use. So the package that we are going to use this week is called HireFStat, and so it stands for Hierarchical F Statistics. So originally this particular package was designed to calculate hierarchical F statistics, but it also does sex bias dispersal calculations, and that's what we're going to use it for. So the first thing we'll need to do is install that package. Okay, we'll execute that. It's installing. All right, so we've installed the package now. Now we need to make sure R has access to it, so we will load it. So library, and then remember if you start typing it, it'll give you options, so we can auto-complete that with the tab key. Execute that command. Now we've loaded the package that we want, the library that we want. And for this week, like I mentioned in the background info video, this data is not actually from my own lab because I don't have any relevant to this particular topic. So we're actually using a data set that was mentioned in your textbook, and it's also already preloaded into this particular package. So we don't need a separate data file. So that's why if you noticed on Canvas, there wasn't a separate data file for this lab because we don't need it. It's already pre-installed in this package. So what you need to do to access or load that data though is type data, and then the name of the data set is, so the name of the shrew that we're working with, the scientific name is C. rocrustula, I think. Oh, here we go. Yeah, C. rocrustula. Okay, so what's happening? Okay, so we will load that data, execute that, and now we have access to that data within our current RStudio session. And just so we get a sense for what this data looks like, let's do this. So head will give us return the beginning part of what that data looks like. We'll do that. Okay, so if we look here, basically, this particular data set has two different main things in it. The first thing it has is a data frame called genote, short for genotype. And what this data frame contains is different columns. So the first column indicates which population that particular individual is from. So each row in this data frame is a different individual. We have 140 individuals total, both males and females. So the first column indicates which population this individual was collected from. There were 15 different populations total in this particular study. Each of the next 8 columns are the 8 different microsatellites that were used for molecular markers in this study. And as I noted in the previous background video, these are the genotype information for each microsatellite for each individual. So for this first microsatellite here, The first allele has 40 repeats for that microsatellite. The second allele has 41. So that information contained within this data frame is actual genotype data for each microsatellite. So that's the first main component of this data set. And then if we scroll down, the other main thing within this Crocrussula dataset is a list that indicates for each of those 140 individuals in that genotype data frame, whether each of those individuals is a female or a male. So if we're trying to investigate sex-biased dispersal here, we need to be able to differentiate which individuals in our dataset are male versus female. So here we have that indicated. F indicates a female shrew and M indicates a male shrew. So now we've installed that new package, loaded it, had the data made accessible to our studio. We've looked at it. So in the next video, I will cover then the actual analysis that we'll do with this data set.